Today, we offer you a genuinely horrific tale, one that sounds like it came from out of a horror movie. But this is not fiction. It's a real-life story given by the famed novelist Grady Hendrix, and it went viral for all the right reasons, because it's horrifying, unbelievable, and startlingly accurate. This video is created for educational and informational use only. Let's go back to 1981, when Grady Hendrix was just 9 years old, living with his family in a tranquil suburban home in the United States. Their house had 2 stories. Grady and his family stayed on the upper floor, while the ground level contained a kitchen, dining room, and other living facilities. Like many curious kids, Grady had a habit of sneaking into the kitchen late at night, especially when he knew there were leftovers in the fridge. His parents didn't allow him to eat snacks or desserts after dinner, but Grady had a soft spot for things like peanut butter, cookies, and leftover fish, especially when visitors had come around. One particular night, after having friends for dinner and bringing home food from outside, including fish, Grady calmly waited for the house to fall silent. Everyone ultimately went to bed. Then, like he had done many times before, he tiptoed out of his room, quietly strolled down the stairs without turning on any lights, and entered the dark kitchen. He opened the fridge and grabbed for the fish when something made him freeze in dread. Out of the corner of his eye, he spotted a man standing in the kitchen, his back turned toward Grady, drinking milk directly from the fridge. The man didn't notice him, but Grady saw everything. His hands trembled. He couldn't breathe. He shut the fridge softly and raced upstairs in fright. Screaming and terrified, he woke his parents. His mother and father came racing down the stairs, thinking maybe an intruder had broken in. But when they investigated the kitchen, there was no one there. No signs of forced entry. Nothing out of place. They dismissed the occurrence as a child's imagination gone wild. Grady's parents felt he was dreaming or exaggerating. After all, it was late. He was 9. Kids often come up with strange stories. But Grady knew what he saw. And that left him severely rattled. Over the following days, Grady began seeing peculiar trends. He observed that food items would migrate during the night, and things were not where they were left the evening before. The kitchen seemed to shift between night and morning. At first, he felt he was hallucinating things. But as he became more alert, he was sure someone else was in the house. He became so afraid that he started sleeping with a lantern under his pillow. He even started believing the house might be haunted, or that there was some type of ghost or creature hidden in the darkness. No one believed him. Then, one night, while resting on his bed and looked up at the ceiling, he spotted something horrifying. There was an air vent over his bed, the kind installed in ceilings to regulate airflow. It had a mesh covering. As he peered at it in the darkness, he saw something that made his blood run cold, a pair of human eyes peering down at him from the vent. Grady shouted harder than ever before and hurried out of his room. Again, he tried to convince his parents, but they assumed he was hallucinating things or having nightmares. They reassured him, but deep inside, Grady was afraid someone was monitoring him, living inside their house. 2 weeks later, the entire household began to notice something strange. A foul smell started to spread throughout the home. It got worse with each passing day, until it became terrible. The scent was horrible, nasty, and persistent. Believing there was an issue with the air conditioning system, the family summoned professionals to check it out. When the AC repairmen arrived and began opening up the walls and ducts, what they discovered left everyone startled. Inside the wall of Grady's room, hidden below the AC vent, was a man's decomposing body. Yes, that was real. Somehow, a man had been living surreptitiously inside the walls and attic space of their home. There was barely enough gap between the roof and walls for someone to crawl and move about. The individual had even set up a little mattress and things near the vent in Grady's room. He had undoubtedly been creeping into the kitchen at night, stealing food, and returning to his concealed location. The individual Grady had observed drinking milk that night. It was this man, and he had probably been living there for weeks or possibly months. To this day, no one knows who the man was. He carried no identification. Police opened a case, but his identity was never revealed. The body was removed, the investigation was closed, and the story became one of the oddest and most terrifying real stories ever reported. Grady Hendrix finally grew up to become a well-known horror writer, and it's no surprise, considering what he went through as a boy. Thank you so much for watching this heartwarming and inspiring story. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real stories from around the world. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching mysterious stories.